They talk a lot about what happens to your body after 65, your joints, your sleep, your muscles. But what they don't tell you is what happens to your mind and your heart. Nobody warns you about the emotional shifts, the subtle rewiring of your thoughts, the quiet realizations that arrive not with a crash, but with a whisper. I didn't expect these changes, but now that I've lived them, I think you should hear them from someone who knows. These are 5 emotional truths that hit you after 65, and they might just change how you see everything. 1. You stop needing to prove anything. There was a time I cared about titles, opinions, being right. I chased achievements, approval, validation. But after 65, that noise begins to fade. Not because you've given up, but because you've let go. You realize how much time you wasted trying to impress people who weren't even watching, and suddenly, silence feels better than being right. Peace feels better than winning. You no longer need to be the loudest in the room. You just want to be the most grounded. It's not resignation, it's freedom. 2. Loneliness becomes a quiet visitor, even in a full house. No one tells you how lonely aging can feel, not because you're alone, but because the roles change. The world moves fast, and suddenly you're watching more than participating. Your kids are grown, your friends are fewer. Some are gone, some just drifted. And even when you're surrounded by people, you can feel the distance. Loneliness at this age isn't loud, it's subtle. It creeps in when the house is quiet, or when a memory hits out of nowhere. But here's what I learned. It's okay to feel it. It doesn't mean you failed, it just means you're still human. What helps? Reaching out, even when you don't feel like it. Saying yes to company, even when it's easier to stay home. Connection doesn't always knock. Sometimes you have to open the door. 3. You start measuring time differently. When you're young, a year feels like forever. At 65, time speeds up. You blink and a decade has passed. You stop saying someday because someday feels a little closer now. You start asking yourself, if not now, when? That shift changes everything. You stop wasting time on petty drama, on things you can't control, on people who never showed up when it mattered. You become more selective with your energy, your plans, your words. Because now you know, every day matters in a way it didn't before. You no longer live like time is endless. And strangely, that makes life feel fuller. 4. Grief becomes part of the landscape. After 65, loss becomes something you live with, not just something you recover from. You lose people, family, friends, neighbors. Sometimes you lose parts of yourself, the roles you played, the routines you loved. Grief doesn't just visit, it moves in. And the hardest part is, life goes on anyway. But here's what I didn't expect. Grief softens. It doesn't disappear, but it becomes woven into you. You smile at the photo instead of cry. You tell their story instead of staying silent. You carry them, not as pain, but as presence. This age teaches you that loving deeply means grieving deeply, but it's still worth it, every time. 5. Joy changes shape, but it doesn't disappear. You don't laugh the same way you did at 30. You don't chase excitement like you did at 40. But joy? It doesn't vanish. It just changes. It shows up in smaller places. A warm cup of tea. Birdsong before sunrise. A memory that used to sting, but now makes you smile. You stop looking for happiness in the loud, the grand. You find it in the ordinary. The fact that you woke up today, that you get another chance to be present. That's the shift. Joy becomes less about what's next and more about what's now. The truth is, aging isn't just physical. Yes, your body changes. That much is obvious. But your soul, your mind, they evolve in ways no one prepares you for. You become quieter, but stronger, softer, but wiser. You lose some things, but gain clarity on what truly matters. The emotional shifts after 65 are real. They challenge you, they humble you, and if you let them, they transform you. So if you're on this journey too, know this: you're not broken, you're becoming, and there's still so much life left to feel. If you like this video, please like and share it with someone and consider subscribing.